The
Is he
whole
going to be
slate,
out?
the whole slate turns on its back when we figure out what the heck is going on with Christian McCaffrey. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Tournament Tactics, NFL Week 1 Tournament Tactics. All right. The name explains what we're doing here. We are discussing tactics to try to win the big DraftKings and FanDuel Millie Maker tournaments for Week 1 and throughout the entire season. With me to break it down today, of course, myself. I'm Kevin Allen, aka the Geek from DFS Army. And I've got the crew, the boys, with me to break it all down. Bobby two-time Millie Maker. Got to get the millies, get the millions. To my right, BobbyWow. We got Burns, author of Winning the $1 Million Game, Secrets of the DraftKings Millie Maker. Gonna share some secrets today. Excellent. And, of course, Josiah, who is a multi-time tournament winner across multiple sports. We know the rest. $1 Million Smile. Someday $1 million man. Josiah as well. And we're going to be talking some tournament tactics here, guys. Week 1, are you guys excited? Are you as excited as I am? Because I'm very excited.
Oh, I feel so good to be back, man. I am pumped for this week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Yeah, it is a fun Week 1 slate. I think there's a lot of chalk that's coagulating on a lot of the sort of the fantasy football plays from fantasy football season, right? A lot of chalk starting to gather around those guys. There might be some bad chalk floating around as well. Almost all chalk is bad chalk. All chalk is bad chalk.
Oh boy.
If you're trying to win $1 million.
Here we go with the blanket statements already.
All chalk
We just started. It's Week 1.
Trying to win money. Look at Burns. Yeah, clean shape. Burns looks young. Like Burns went back in age 10 years.
The baby-faced assassin, Burnsy.
I don't even know. But let's get right into it, guys. So the way the format's gonna work, we're gonna go look at the position groups, and we're gonna look at the ownerships, because that's really we're talking tournaments. And then the goal is tell me why I shouldn't play that high owned player and I should play someone else instead to try to take down $1 million this week. I will share that this offseason, we did a lot of back testing work, once again, as we always do. And we did streams with the crew. And if you're watching this and you want to see those streams, they are available on the DFS Army website under the NFL Basic Training tab. So you could go back and watch those back testing streams. And what we do is we backtested all of 2024, the Millie Maker contest and other giant tournaments on DraftKings. And we try to kind of, all right, let's hone in on the settings, see what it takes to take down one of these tournaments. And, amongst a lot of things that we concluded, my biggest takeaway was to be much more aggressive at limiting ownership than I have been in the past. I will tell you that it didn't always 100% of the time produce a better overall top lineup. But I think the difference is it's producing much more plus EV lineups with better chances to place up top. And there were quite a few weeks where when I really hit the limits, same settings as I normally use, but really extended those limits on ownerships, it wasn't just placing one lineup in the top 100. I was getting 6, 7, 8 in the top 100, which is where I feel like you want to be if you want that variance to click for you so that one of those jumps their way up into first place. Because pretty much in a Millie Maker, if you're in the top 100, you're in the top 0.001%. It's just a variance difference between first place and not. So yeah, Tom was with us in some of the back testing, and I trust the process. But gents, let's jump right into NFL Week 1 stuff. And I'm going to slide over to the old quarterback tab, and I'm just going to now call out for the audience, if in case they can't see the screen share, some of these numbers, and then I'm going to throw it to you guys to discuss these quarterback plays and our thoughts on them. So right off the bat, Trevor Lawrence topping the ownership this week at 16%. Second up is Jaden Daniels at 14% currently projected. Joe Burrow, 9%. Danny Jones in there at 7%. And then everybody else I'll call at a level where it's not chalky, right? But it is interesting to note, Drake May, Kyler May, who's low on the list. Joe Flacco's in there. And you kind of make your way down from there. There are some very low owned sneaky plays here as well. But let's start at the very top of this quarterback range in terms of ownership. At the very top, you've got Jaden Daniels, and I kind of agree with that one. I think he's a very safe cash game play, and I think Jaden Daniels should be in your cash lineup. Trevor Lawrence, however, as much as I like Liam Cohen and the whole weaponry they don't have a dominant running back, can we trust Trevor Lawrence as a chalk play in any format? BobbyWow, should I trust him?
I would not use the word trust with Trevor Lawrence. No, I do think, he's highly owned for good reason. He checks a lot of boxes. You mentioned his supporting cast, Travis Hunter being on the team, Liam Cohen's there, bad defense, but no, I'm not putting the words trust and Trevor Lawrence in the same sentence.
I don't trust him. Burns, what about you?
I don't think we can ever trust him after last year. His performance last year was atrocious, to say the least. But he does have compliments now. He's got Hunter Henry as a WR2 to pair with BTJ. So, and then you got a compliment there with a viable tight end, if you want to call him viable. Brenton Strange.
I like Brenton Strange.
He's going to get some targets in this one. But the guy that I think is kind of going a little bit under owned, and we'll talk about in the running back position, is ETN.
Yeah, we'll fight about that one when we get to the running backs. Burns, I'm excited for that battle. But I think, listen, Lawrence is a fine play, and normally I'd be interested in him in tournaments, except 16% owned. It kind of takes some of the shine off of the play, because it's like, man, I'm gonna play the highest owned quarterback in the Millie Maker with 800,000 entrants. I just don't think that's a great method to try to win a contest against 800,000 or 100,000 or 80,000 or even 88,000 other people, if we're being real. So it's much smaller contest. Jaden Daniels at the top, guys. What about that? I'm pretty good with Jaden Daniels, even Jaden eating a little bit of that chalk across the board, and I would definitely play him in my cash game this week.
Yeah, I'm playing Jaden Daniels, but a few things I'll call out. This Giants defense they're not the Panthers. The Panthers, as a fellow Panthers fan, you can pick on them, but the Giants, they've gotten better edge rushers. They've gotten better linebackers. They're improving. So it wouldn't shock me if he doesn't have that ceiling performance that we're expecting, especially at that price tag. Like I said, I'm going to play him, but I'm not planning on being too over the field on him here.
Yeah, I agree. And I think in cash, I fully agree with playing JD. I think, like Josiah said, definitely reasons to go underweight, right? He's not only the most expensive guy, but the Giants have gotten a lot better defensively, especially up front. And this is a Giants team that in 2 games last season against JD, they limited him pretty well. I think he had 2 total touchdowns in those games, held to like 70 rushing yards total between the two. So a Giants defense that got better actually was pretty good at limiting him last year too. So I do think there's reasons to be underweight in tournaments.
100% agree here with both Bob and BobbyWow. So Jaden Daniels, he's got to score way higher than a lot of the other quarterbacks to make value in tournaments. So I would limit him to single entry and 3 max and smaller MME tournaments. When you look at the Millie Maker, he's got to get upwards of about 28 to 35 points. Can he get there? Sure. Will he get there against a better defense for the Giants than we saw last year, especially in the secondary? Their defense got retooled in the offseason. They added some serious power up front in the draft. So I think they're going to get after him. I think this could be one where, the tight end's going to be utilized a lot because he's going to be pressured a lot. And it's going to be short passing. So I could see Deebo Samuel in play here as well.
Yeah.
Wait, can we talk about that comment? Because we didn't really celebrate BobbyWow too much because that Javonte Williams call last night, I didn't really hear anyone else in the industry hyping him up the way I heard Bobby hyping him up on y'all's show yesterday. That was awesome, man. Good call.
Wow, crushing it as always and as usual. And we're gonna do a lot more. He's so humble. He doesn't like when you call out his good calls. Look, I can see. But
even you sound bored of it, Geek. You're like,
No, we did a showdown breakdown this afternoon where I was hyping it up, and we had a whole other guy for tonight that we're excited about in Omarion for cheap on FanDuel. But let's talk about alternate quarterbacks now that we like to actually attack tournament, because we kind of got the two cash guys out of the way. Okay, push them out of the way. We're not really going to be winning a lot of tournaments taking the highest owned player at quarterback position. That's usually not how you win these. So let's take those guys out of the way, and let's talk about other quarterbacks that we might be interested in this week to build around in tournaments. And let's get crazy, get silly at the very top end of the range. You've got the ones that stand out are Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield to me. Yes, both very expensive, and clearly either one will have to outscore Jaden Daniels in order to be relevant, because they're all pretty much everybody got to do that, right? So they're all right near each other. Joe Burrow, obvious reasons we like him. Great set of weapons, no defense over there. Could be a shootout in Cleveland. And then you've got Baker Mayfield, who just quietly was awesome last season, averaging almost 24 fantasy points per game. Loses the offensive coordinator. Did the magic leave with Liam? Maybe. Could be. Did the magic leave? Of course, we got an easy stacks for Mayfield, especially with Evans and Igbuga, and Burrow too. We know who to stack him up with. Double stack type quarterbacks there. But then there are some other names here that are going to be massively lower owned, like your Kylers, your Bo Nixes, your Purdy's, and Jolo, and pretty much everybody. So I'll go around, Josiah, this time with you. Oh, that's right, counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. And we'll start at the top here, Josiah. At the in this top group, let's call it like the 6K and up. So the ones you can see on screen, right? The 6K and up range. We talk about Jaden. Give me just one other quarterback that, like, for you, bam, he's jumping off the page for me as a good tournament play. And tell me why.
I mean, honestly, those guys for me fall in the cheaper than this range, and I already know, Kevin, you're gonna hate some of them. So
I might not.
We'll see.
I might like them.
But I'll take the easy one here. Bo Nix is the one who stands out for me in that $6,300 price range on DraftKings. Snead has been banged up. He'll probably play on Sunday, but he's still questionable as of right now. That really makes things even easier for me. Looking at that Bo Nix, Sutton stack, maybe even adding Ingram in here. He has the rushing upside that Baker and Joe don't have. He's the main guy I'm making sure is going to show up in my lines.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix, pretty easy to stack up as well between the tight end, Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, and Marvin Mims. Stack with one, he runs a little bit. I'm not sure the Titans can make a game of that one. I have concerns that Denver defense will smash those clowns. So we're going to have to see. How about you, Burns? In this upper group, upper tier, pick one. Who's that guy? It's not Jaden. It's someone else.
Yeah, if I had to pick a guy, like, I think you could, there are so many good ones in the 6K range. But if I had to put my flag plan on any one of these guys, it would probably be Joe Burrow. I think this is going to be a high-paced up game. I think this game is a game stack situation in the making here. I like the fact that you can pair him up with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and run it back with Jerry Jeudy or David Njoku in this one. There's a lot of goodness on the fantasy realm here. That's kind of where I'm kind of flag playing. This is why I'm not going to go with a lot of Jaden Daniels. I'm going to be going with a lot more Joe Burrow this week in tournaments.
I like that. Obvious, but also awesome. And I would say in that scenario, Burns, if I'm playing Burrow, I'm very much playing it for like a crazy game environment situation. So I don't even mind, or more likely, I will actively try to get an Njoku or a Jerry Jeudy or a Tillman on the comebacks in a lineup like that. Because that game, if it's blowing up, it's blowing up. right?
Yep.
And if it's not, it might not, but if it does, it blows up. So that's a game stackable spot in my mind. How about you, Bobby Wow? Of this upper tier, and I'm not super in love with it, so it's okay to say, but of this upper tier, anybody not mentioned so far that's popping for you this week? Maybe a little under the radar, low owned plays.
I think those are the two guys that I would have said up front. The one guy I'll call out, we talked about him a little bit, is Baker. Not in love with Baker, but there's a compelling case to be made about him with the game total, with stacking is relatively easy with him. I think it's Mike Evans and the rookie. I don't know. Has Godwin been ruled out at this point? It sounds like he's doubtful. Okay,
he's out. Not only that, I'm just gonna level that up. There was also a rookie last year that was coming on strong in the slot. I believe
McMillan's out.
Jalen McMillan also out.
Yep.
Which means Igbuka is going to absolutely smash this slate, and Evans will do what he always does, which is 100 yards and a touchdown probably.
So it's kind of nice to have two guys to hone in on with Baker. And the other thing I love about this game is I think Atlanta could turn this thing into a shootout. Maybe the most capable of the teams that we've talked about to put up points and force Tampa to continue scoring. So I really like that factor in my builds where I can be confident in who I'm stacking Baker with, but also confident plugging in a comeback with a Drake London or Bijan Robinson.
In assistance to the possibility of the Falcons keeping a game of this, Vita Vea.
That's the big one.
The big one is right. It does not appear to be going to play this week. So we're probably not going to have Vita Vea in there, which should open things up for the entirety of that Falcons offense. Also, Darnell Mooney probably not going to play, by the way, in that game. So if we're game stacking it, that actually brings Ray McLeod into the conversation, even though I don't think we need to go quite that aggressively low this week. Guys, you named them all. I'm really, I think Baker's great for the same reasons you just said. Burrow, Jaden's acceptable. I'm not going to be on Jared Goff on the road.
Okay, question about Goff, because the ownership is what always gets my attention here. If Micah Parsons ends up sitting and they don't have Atkins anymore, which is part of why I like their running attack a little bit more than you would think on paper, would that push the needle for you all to consider Goff here or no?
I mean, just a 1% ownership, isn't that? That should be pushing everybody's needle a little bit.
This is a capable offense, and we've seen these NFC North games turn into shootouts earlier in the season before. Exactly. So Lambeau Field, it's tough that it's at Lambeau. That really, really concerns me with Goff, but it's happened before in these types of games. So I don't hate it. You don't have to get that much exposure to get some leverage there.
Yeah, maybe a little taste, but I will say I don't envision also the way that the injuries that the Packers kind of have on offense too right now. The Jaden Reed looks like he's not going to play, and they're a little banged up at wide receiver. I'm not super excited about this game being one of the ones that pops this week. Could be super raw, and I don't know. Maybe I'm being influenced by Parsons. Like maybe that's influencing me. Their defense is going to be great.
I mean, it's the second highest total game on the slate.
It's crazy.
We are not fading that. We are not. We are not doing
that.
No, we are not.
I will.
No. Yeah. I think that I have a reason. I'm going to try to convince you not to, Burns. I know, but I am going to try to do some convincing. I
have unchecked every single home underdog RB on the slate.
I have a compelling argument that I'm going to make when we get.
So we got Burns standing for ETN and fading Bijan.
I have another take too. I mean,
I can't wait.
Nobody's on this guy. Nobody.
Oh boy. I have an argument onto why you should not fade Bijan in tournaments, but we'll talk about
it.
We'll get there.
Yeah. I'm going to argue a point, and then you can be like, I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. That's cool. But I'm going to at least argue a point there.
But Vita Vea is playing.
He is now playing. They're saying he is.
Yes, he is.
You gotta be kidding me.
So that makes Bijan that much worse of a play.
Yeah, I can agree with that then.
Just means he has to catch more passes now.
Yeah.
Dude, Bijan is king, and everybody else is queens, Jackson, pawns.
I need
understand what's going on here.
Yeah, but I need 35 to 40 out of him.
That's
if
what
I get 23.
We're not at running back yet. We're still at quarterback.
Yeah, we're talking quarterback.
We got to plow through this.
Yeah, DJF's like this. I have an argument for this, Tom. I will tell it to you as well when we get to the running back section. But let's shift focus down to where I think the better tournament quarterbacks are going to come from. The lower cost group. We can save a little money. We can save some ownership, right? So there are chock full of choices sub 6K. I'm not going to include Matthew Stafford in that because I'm just not. But that is not a good spot. But you got Tua, Bryce Young, Penix on the other side of that Falcons game. Why not? Drake May, the Dreezy, love Drake. Justin Fields running quarterback right there. Sam Darnold, no one playing him. I'll include, no one's talking about Geno Smith for whatever reason. I think Daniel Jones is getting some ownership. I watched a great breakdown from new DFS Army contributor, Sticks Picks, and he made a compelling argument for Russell Wilson as a playable tournament quarterback. Josiah, is that your guy that I was going to hate?
No. There's
okay.
worse, I promise.
He made a strong argument for Russell Wilson. I don't know if I'm fully convinced, but it certainly raised my eyebrow and got me maybe more interested in like Giants pieces that are pass catchers. And then, of course, Joe Cool himself helming the Browns in that one. So with that being said, guys, we already talked about Trevor Lawrence, who is the chalk of the low cost tier of running of quarterbacks. But I'm going to go around starting with you, BobbyWow, this time, and give me a quarterback that's not Trevor Lawrence. Find me an alternative. Where can I go here? And give me a reason why that quarterback gives me a plus EV shot at, taking down a big tournament this week.
Man, yeah, I'll save Bryce Young for Josiah. I won't cover that one.
Nope, he's not in my player pool. You can have him.
Yeah, all right. Don't save.
And I'll save Drake May too. I'm gonna say Michael Penix Jr. For the same reasons I talked Baker up for. I think Penix, great game environment. I understand that Tampa Bay is not the greatest matchup defensively, but at least through the air, they showed that they were exploitable last season. He is extremely easy to stack up. We've got Drake London as the guy. You don't have to dabble in Ray McCloud. We don't have to get crazy like that. I think you got London, Bijan, you can stack with him. And also Kyle Pitts, if you're looking to be hurt again to start the 2025 season, Kyle Pitts is an option. But I just love that game environment. Again, I think maybe of all the games on the slate, this one has the best potential to turn into a legitimate shootout. So Penix is my guy. I love being able to be confident in my stacks, both the stack with the quarterback and also bringing it back with a guy like Mike Evans or Ekbuka, who's the free square this week. So I'm going with Penix.
Wait, can someone give me a counterpoint to why I shouldn't like Penix? Because that sounded pretty good.
I have no counterpoint to that. Penix is a good play. Your only counterpoint is Penix doesn't really run with the football very much. So
yeah.
Right.
That's not
very
very much of a
5K
counterpoint.
range. I care a little bit less about that.
Yeah. Listen, I'd rather he did, but
yeah,
he doesn't. So, but he's out there slinging. And by the way, we already love Drake London this week. Like we already love Bijan. We already love Drake. Why not pair him up with the quarterback? So I like the call. How about you, Burns?
I would say it's a little bit lower than the 5K range, but Joe Flacco in play at 4,900 here. If the Browns are going to keep this close, he's got to be slinging it. I'm not really buying the whole Jerome Ford narrative in this one. I'm not really buying the whole narrative of the running game in this game at all, actually, to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a passing game. I think if Tampa Bay doesn't shoot out, I think this game and the San Francisco game are the ones that could shoot out as well. So I like Joe Flacco in this. He's very easy to stack. You got Njoku, you got Judy, you got Tillman. It's very simple to stack. If you can even run him naked, he's 4,900. And that opens up so much in your lineup for the studs like Chase. You could throw Chase in there. You could throw your stud RBs in there. You could throw 3 stud RBs in there, and you'd be pretty solidified lineup. But it's really simple to stack up Joe Flacco this week at 4,900, and his pieces are very low in salary as well. Njoku at 4,700, and Judy at 5,400, and Tillman at 4,400.
Another game where I feel that if Flacco is slapping and doing his thing, then there is no doubt in my mind that the Bengals offensive pieces are doing it also. So that is the ultimate game stack only situation. If Flacco's in my lineup, I'm as aggressively pairing him up with Bengals players as I am with two of his own pass catchers. That's how confident I am that if Flacco's doing it, they're answering. The Bengals are answering in this one. So we'll get like this whole nice little contained environment situation going on there, which I like.
I mean, he could get around 20 points. I mean, he really doesn't need much more than that to make tournament value. So,
and the Bengals stink. The defense stinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
Defense not very good, man. That offense is as good as anyone in the league, though, right? That's what we like. That's my favorite.
We haven't even talked about the best option on that team yet, so we'll get there though.
Who's that? T? All right. Oh, well, that's the running back discussion. We'll get there. Who are we up to? Josiah.
Yeah. One thing I'll say to watch out for is the Browns might be without their right tackle. And so obviously if he's out, that does make Flacco a little bit of a worse play. But for now, I really do like that play call too. Getting weird with it, my sneaky quarterback play is Justin Fields. I have some reasoning here. It does point towards where I like at the position or one of the players I like at running back. But the Steelers, they're known as a great defense. But for now, they're going to be without some key pieces. They lost their defensive tackle earlier this year, Larry Ogunjobi. I don't know how to say his name. And then they drafted in the first round Harmon to really kind of fill in that role. But now he's out. And they're going to have a weakness at that defensive tackle position. And teams should be able to run all over them, at least early in the season until he comes back. And so because of that, someone who's cheap, low owned, has shown plenty of tournament winning upside before in the past, not with the Steelers, obviously, but now with him on the Jets, on a new team, I like this spot for him. I think he could be really sneaky and have tournament winning upside in this spot. And I'm not going to force a stack here either.
No need. Although I would say, why not get him in there with Garrett? He's only throwing to one guy. There's literally no one else on the team he's even looking for. And if you remember back to the Justin Fields Bears run that happened a couple of years ago, you know, he was targeting DJ Moore. DJ Moore had good games under this guy because it's great when the coach says throw it to your first read. That's all he does. If the Fields does not even have it in him to look for a second read, like it's not in his forte. He needs to use that virtual reality thing that Jaden Daniels is using. We need to get that to the Jets.
One thing I'll say about the stack, and we saw it yesterday with Hurts, it's very possible that the game plan here is for them just to run the ball all day.
Yes, don't force the Garrett Wilson stack. Don't force
the Garrett Wilson.
It makes sense, but don't force it.
I do like the force, but that's just me.
Oh.
I don't think he gets there without it. But I'm going to give you guys a name. So thank you for leaving a couple names here. I thought, there are some. Let's call somebody in the chat called out Tua. Not so sure, but okay. 2% owned. No, I don't have a problem with it. Of course, you skipped Bryce Young, but I kind of find it as an interesting contrarian leverage against all of that.
Let me give you something about Bryce Young. Their starting left tackle is already doubtful. He's not going to play.
Oh,
and we already know Bryce Young isn't good under normal circumstances. And then both.
Whoa.
He did come up last year, but we'll see.
I'm rubbing off on Josiah.
Wait, what is going on here, Josiah?
But both offensive guards are questionable. Robert Hunt and the other one who I'm blanking on. But
they're playing the Jags.
They could be in a really bad situation.
Yeah, it's not like the Jags are rushing the passer. Let's be real. That's not part of their game.
That's true.
They don't do that. So I think Bryce Young is a reasonable play. We know who to stack him. Everybody loves Ted. This is the thing. This isn't even my call for this week, but everybody loves Ted McMillan already. He's literally on the top. He's popping he's popping everywhere. He's popping on the projections, all of that. So if we already like him and we don't really have to worry about like who else he's throwing to, I can almost single stack him I don't even know Xavier Leggett. I don't even know who the WR2 actually is.
In the slot.
Like who? Yeah, Hunter Renfrow.
My lord.
No, what is this? 2017 called. They want their slot man back. Remember that from Seinfeld? Costanza? All right. Somebody in the audience will remember it. And Jatavian Sanders, like, okay, double stacks with him. But my guy, since you guys took a lot of the ones I also like as well, and I agree with all of them, I'm not going to go with the Sticks pick of Russell Wilson. I'm going to leave that for Sticks, but I love the contrarianism in that play, and I think it can work. But I'm going with Drake May, rushing quarterback, Josh Allen light, as they call him.
Jeez.
That's right.
Josh Allen light.
Josh Allen light. What? You don't remember 2 years back who was throwing touchdowns to Stephon Diggs? Say the name. Who was it? 2 years ago.
Maybe
Josh
like
Allen.
Mini Allen.
He's Mini Allen. There we go. So
Maybe like
here's what I
wannabe Allen.
No, they look similar. He wants to be Allen for the wifery. I'm pretty sure Allen just married a smoke show beyond all recognition.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like I don't even know what the hell I was seeing, but I was like, oh my God, it's good to be a quarterback in the National Football League.
Matt Stafford's not in play this week, so Geek had to find someone
Allen.
with
Oh.
the house.
Oh, yes. But Drake May. So let me number one, I think the Raiders are slightly better than people are giving them credit for. Like people think the Raiders are coming in just to be this turd team that gets rolled over. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the Raiders are way better than they were last year. They upgraded from Aiden O'Connell to Geno Smith. Geno Smith's a real National Football League quarterback. Aiden O'Connell is somebody who's like going to have a hard time getting on the Toronto Argonauts as a backup quarterback. Like that is an upgrade beyond all recognition. So I think the Raiders make a game of it. Let's start there. Am I concerned about the pass catching corpse for the Patriots? Sure. I'm not really sure. I don't have confidence in Stephon Diggs. Like, I don't think anybody can. Like, he's coming off injury. He's old. He's crazy. He's got like a lot of things going against him. But so I don't think I'm going to double stack Drake May because I don't think I can find two. But I don't even mind pairing him up with just like a Hunter Henry or even Pop Douglas. Myers on the comebacks, of course, or Ashton Janty. So on the comeback, by the way, the Raiders also added Ashton Janty. They also gave another year of experience to Brock Bowers. Like that team is better. Didn't they add I think they added a wide receiver too. Who's opposite Jacoby Myers at this point? Because I forgot.
There's like two guys. There's
Beck.
a couple guys. Beck is one.
Who? No, Beck is no good though. He stinks. He's not starting. Trey Tucker.
Yeah,
actually, somebody mentioned it here. Yeah, I think it's Trey Tucker who can go deep.
Yeah.
Not Trey Tucker. Yeah, Trey Tucker.
He's been on the team, but yes, they have.
I thought they added someone too. I could be wrong. Not the Besh. Not the rookie is terrible. He didn't make the starting lineup. He's garbage. Sorry.
Thornton?
Thornton's a
no, it was Amari Cooper, and then he retired. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, now I remember. Listen, I'm not crazy. I knew something happened over there.
The next time Drake May flashes tournament winning upside, though, Geek, will be the first time. I think we have to remember that.
Yeah, and Thornton the rookie, not Tyquan Thornton, who's on my head from tonight's showdown, but Thornton the rookie actually does seem to have locked down that WR2 starting role, which just means more targets for Jacoby Myers. I don't know. I like it. I like the bringbacks on the Raiders, so I would build around this game as well.
Yeah. The only concern I have with it is just pace of play. Old man Carroll, they tend to play pretty slow. If
they do the whole former Seahawks approach, where what like kind of describing what you said, that would certainly be less good. But who controls?
Well, let's not forget the Patriots game plan too.
Yeah, that's right.
We could see the running backs. We could see Trevion. We could see Ramondre punching the ball in if Drake May can get them to the goal line. So the projections are really solid for May though.
All right, I'm going to give you guys. I'm opening up the domination station right now. We've got the props projection open. We're going to shift gears to the running back position. This is where I think a lot of the money is going to be made this week. So stay focused, stay with me. We're looking at tournament plays. And guys, real quick, if you're watching, reminder, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And the DFS Army, there we go. Kickoff 2025 is the promo code ahead of kickoff. If you want to sign up for DFS Army VIP, 20% off, locks in for life. It's I like teleprice. You can do monthly or weekly, but it's $89.99. Take 20% off. It's like $70 a month, $2 a day, less than a cup of coffee to have the domination station, the notes, the cheat sheets, all your favorite talking heads from DFS Army, and more importantly, the wonderful community that we have in the Discord and all the amazing tools to take down tournaments. People are winning. By the way, we had 2 college football takedowns this weekend. Like, it is just a nonstop party, and your plus EV lineups is what we're putting in. So we're giving an edge, hopefully, to our members with these tools and with the cheat sheets and all the stuff, and of course the domination station and the research stations and all the amazing tools. So promo code kickoff 2025. There we go. All right. Taking a look at the running back position, guys, pay attention here because this is really interesting. So I've got the domination station sorted by salary. So we start at the very top, and there's a lot of great plays at running back, but look at the discrepancies in ownership projections from some of these guys. And I'll make a stronger argument than this, Burns, but Bijan's sub 10% owned. Jahmyr Gibbs, who basically is pretty much thought of as the best running back talent-wise in the NFL, just 6.96%. Excuse me?
That's why I'm going to have way more Gibbs than if I get the Bijan. I love Gibbs this week, man.
And we're not even seeing Barkley prices. We've seen Saquon hit 9K. We're not even close.
They're all underpriced. Week 1, everybody's like almost free. Now, of course, I loved Christian McCaffrey all week long until now we got the old CM sizzle. We got Christian McCaff injuried, and now we're there goes that chalk. Christian McCaff injury.
I thought that was good.
No, Burns poo-pooed it. I thought it was really clever. I thought it was clever.
I didn't say anything.
You said, oh, you were actually poo-pooing the injury, not my my choice of words. But we got the injury. So this is all going to change, and everything we're going to say here is probably worthless, but whatevs. Ashton Jeanty, the rookie, at 11% as well. So real discrepancies here in some ownerships. For example, there's so many of them. Achan, I really like Achan, but Jonathan Taylor on the other side of that game, 30 carries last year. I mean, he's so good. Did we mention Daniel Jones, by the way, in the quarterback breakdown?
Good call out.
No.
Did I forget him? Oh, Drake May. I actually think I like Jones more than Drake May. So now I thought one of you guys had said Daniel Jones.
I thought that's where you were going.
I thought one of you said Daniel Jones, so I went with May. And now I'm like, wait a second. Did we not? I love Danny Jones this week. He's a little higher owned than I'm comfortable with, but like,
he's easy to stack too. I mean, every stacking part of that of the Indianapolis Colts is cheap. I mean, you got Warren, he's cheap at 4,100. You got Pittman, you got Downs, Pierce, you got, and then if you want JT in there, and then you can run it back. I mean, the pieces are very cheap this week.
Yeah, Dolphins defense is trash.
Adonai Mitchell lit up training camp for the Colts. Like, that dude is 3,400. Josh Downs was great last year. Michael Pittman, maybe he's good, but he never had a quarterback to throw it to him. I'm not sure. There are so many possibilities with the indoor, with the Colts. The Colts are favored. What? They're favored?
But don't box yourself into stacks with Danny. That's the other thing. He's so cheap. Okay,
you don't have to force it. You don't have to force. Definitely not forcing two. So
he's one Millie Makers. He's one Millie Makers naked.
Yeah. You know who won a Millie Maker with Daniel Jones at the helm? BobbyWow.
Not naked though. I double stacked him. I think
double stacked, but still, it was Daniel Jones.
That was 20 years ago. I can't believe Danny's still in the league.
He's still here.
Look at us now. He's at the leading edge of the main slate. First
reunited.
I can't believe that you don't have a Daniel Jones signed jersey in your office over there. That to me is a tragedy. I think it's because you are biased against the Giants and you only want Chicago players. That's what I think is going on.
Well, but anyway, the secondary for Miami got worse too in the offseason. So
the Miami defense doesn't look very good. Everything about that game says, and if Miami makes a game of it, we get a little back and forth action, low ownership. That's the kind of spot I'm looking for. So, all right, recapping the quarterback, we're adding Danny Jones into that mix because I totally thought one of you guys said that. I prefer him to May Although I like May also.
I
All right,
love Tyler
so
Warren.
guys, running back group and Tyler Warren, yeah. Running back group here. So you can see there's some real discrepancy. Everybody's in a good spot. Like there's a lot of good spots for running backs. It's hard to differentiate, but we do see chalk kind of, and this is going to change. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I think just the Q tag is already going to lower McCaffrey. If we don't, he did not practice today. He was just out there. That is a very bad sign on Friday. So
If he's ruled out,
and Shanahan didn't even try to BS at this time. He just won't comment on it. So maybe even worse.
Oh boy.
he's ruled out. There's somebody behind him that becomes a good play.
yeah, I got to look at the price point for. I don't
I
think
think he's in the 5s.
Yeah, he's 58.
Yeah, not the. He's priced as if he was starting for the Commanders because this pricing came out before he was traded.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer because had this been this situation, we would have got a 4K backup situation. Not Garendo. It's not him. It is Brian Robinson Jr. It's not Garendo. Garendo is I can't stay healthy guy. But all right.
But he is healthy now.
What's that?
He is healthy now.
He's healthy now, but look out tomorrow. Like he's not. They brought in Brian Robinson Jr. for that reason. They know that Garendo is not a guy who can stay healthy. All right, so let's look at the. I want to kind of stick to the high end range, and then we'll go to the low end range because it's hard to show it all on screen. In fairness, so Bobby Wow, I'll start with you at the running back group. Obviously, McCaffrey at this point, who is a clear-cut core play if he's healthy on the slate, like the best play on the slate, I think, is no longer a safe option. And I'm guessing based on not practicing today that not only, if he doesn't play this weekend, this might be a career ender for him, by the way.
Whoa, let's
yeah.
calm down.
Yeah. If it's a career in jeopardy right now.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, career is in jeopardy. I don't mean like it's retiring tomorrow. I mean like truly a career and like as a useful fantasy asset.
Yeah,
it could be over. It could be over. It could be over. I hope not. I really do. But take me through the high end of the range, Bobby Wow. Give me 2 of the running backs that you're targeting specifically in tournaments and why.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of assume here, even if McCaffrey plays, he's no longer a 4-star play for me. So I think Bijan is the clear top guy to me. He does not have a David Montgomery to vulture. He does not have a Studley defense necessarily to stuff him on the other side. I know we talked about Vay, but Bijan has crazy good pass catching upside. And they're virtually the same price. So the Falcons finally used Bijan how we've been begging them to use him last season, especially in the second half. And to me, his upside is just elite relative to everyone else. So he's not at 9K priced, not breaking the bank, and his props projection is 3.5 points higher than Jahmyr Gibbs. So I like everything about Bijan. He'll be my top dog, and then Genty more so on FanDuel. He's really cheap on FanDuel. Crazy price discrepancy there between DraftKings and FanDuel. So I like him there. What's that?
Let me ask you this. I'm going to stop you on that one because I want your take on this. You're right. Ashton Genty, crazy low on FanDuel, 1,000 less, way 2,000 less than Gibbs, like way out of this zone. Would you take that information and say, I'm just going to play this guy on FanDuel and I'm not going to play him at all on DraftKings? Like, is that reason enough? Because if let's say you're running, which I am, we're going to max out both sites.
Yep.
Would you say, let me play him there. And then I won't, if he has a good game, great. And if he has a bad game, at least it won't destroy my DraftKings lineups.
Yeah, I think the chance of him burning you for not playing him on FanDuel is really high. Whereas on DraftKings with PPR, it's much easier, even if he has a good game, for him not to break your lineup. So
because there's so many great plays right around him.
There's so many great plays. There's so many PPR guys in the same zone. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I like that call. And for that reason, I think just one step down, Achane, I think is a great play. Sounds like he's healthy. He's going to go. And so I'm just assuming he is a full go, and really he is the WR1 and the RB1 for the Dolphins. So he's my other top guy. Love that he's below 7K. Just even the price tag's appealing. So yeah, Bijan and Achane for me. those are where I'll be most heavily invested at running back.
Yeah, the
So
Gibbs
sad.
slander was crazy, but that's okay.
So sad. Well, he was. In fairness, he did say with Gibbs,
I
we're
love
just
Gibbs.
Looking, yeah, I like Gibbs too, but like we are looking at the projection, the prop projection, and it is significantly
3.5
less
points.
Yeah, it
That's
is
massive.
Although I think the projections were the props are. I tend to think bet the over on Jameer. So I don't know. I think we might want to bet the over there, but yeah, totally. But that ownership is reflective of it too. By the way, you're getting the ownership discount on Gibbs, which is awesome. Gibbs being a road underdog running back. Of course, Bijan is a home underdog running back. And Burns, since Bobby called out Bijan, and I'm going to go to you next. I want to make an argument for why you can break the rule.
Okay.
I know you don't like a rule breaking.
It's all math, man.
I know you're not a rule breaker or a math breaker. It's week 1, and I think the Falcons maybe they should be favored in this game at home.
Yeah, the line is actually starting to go to the Falcons' favor in this game. So if it flips, I'll be more heavily on Bijan. Yeah. It just hasn't flipped yet. But what if it flips or it gets closer to, pick them? Yeah.
Just keep in mind that a lot of these rules are established as a generalized rule for all home underdogs, but there is a difference between a 1 or 2 point underdog and a 7 point home dog. So that's the only thing. It's going to skew the data set just a little bit to where, yeah, I do want to kind of shut down. I love a hard rule, but not when it means I don't play Bijan this week. So I got to figure out some way to make it acceptable.
Do y'all think Bijan ends up being the chalky running back if CMC's ownership goes down?
Yeah,
that's the good question to ask.
That might be a
tough
problem.
To say.
So, yeah, we have to kind of see what happens. I don't know though, because there's
pulls ownership to his way,
and down to Achane. Love Achane. I think I could almost feel comfortable. I'm not going to do it, but like going weirdly high, like 50-60% exposure on Achane in a healthy start indoors with Tua, and no other running back really there to threaten his touches. The guy is so freaking explosive. I don't know how he doesn't, catch 7 targets in that game and just go crazy, unless he gets hurt. So I don't mind breaking a rule. But Burns, let's move it to you here. So BobbyWow said Bijan and Devon Achane top pairing. We're talking tournaments. Who are you specifically targeting in tournaments this week to help take down the Millie Maker on DraftKings?
To get a little different from Bijan, you don't have to go very far below him. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is a stout play week in and week out. He's got the pass catching abilities that all these top tier running backs have. He's between the tackles guy as well. We've seen it last year. And he is the offense is starting to go through him. Now, the problem with Jahmyr Gibbs is we don't know how the new offensive coordinator is going to coordinate this game and scheme. So that has to be a part of it. But Jahmyr Gibbs, I like him a lot. Road underdog, sign me up. But the guy in this range that is just popping off the page for me, even before Christian McCaffrey was like a full go, is Bucky Irvin. This guy is just popping off the page for me. Like I can stack him with Baker Mayfield all day long. So I love game stacks in this one. And he is definitely a part of those game stacks for me. It's very easy to get to him in the game stacks. I just love it. I just love what he brings to this offense. Now they may not scheme the same way that they did last year. Liam Cohen is no longer here. So those are things that have to be taken into consideration. So I wouldn't go like 35-40% on this guy, but a healthy 20% ain't too bad either. And then, just below him are Devon Achane in the same game as Jonathan Taylor. You cannot take this guy out of your lineups. I mean, this guy has to be a part of your player portfolio to this weekend. He is at home, fast-paced game, could potentially be. So I really like Jonathan Taylor in this one as well.
Love that.
About Bernsey, is there any reason to believe, or have we been given any word from coaches that there will be more of a delineation between Bucky and Rachaad White? because the concern is for me has always been Rachaad White eating into that PPR upside, and also vulturing a touchdown or two. Do we have any indicators as to what that role is going to look like?
Not that I've seen. I just think Bucky's just a far better running back at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just going to be going with him. I'm not going to worry about, I'm not going to worry about it until that we actually see the game and see what happens, right? That's what the first game's all about. We kind of can see what they're going to do. Similar to the Jacksonville, right? How that's going to all play out and stuff too. So, it's a wait and see type thing.
I love that you called out Jonathan Taylor. He's kind of like, I like it because he's just as kind of as good as anybody else here, but you're getting slightly lower ownership on him. And that's where you just want to be, like, similar. The whole, what I'm looking to do in tournaments is I want to find similar upside, but for lower ownership. That's where the leverage comes from. Josiah, no one said Chase Brown yet. I think we all agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to start with Chase Brown either.
I love Chase Brown, by the way.
He's my favorite of anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not my favorite.
You'd rather play anyone?
Wow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, primarily because I am prioritizing 3 running backs up here, the same ones that Burns mentioned. Gibbs, no Atkins, ideally no Parsons. We saw the impact Atkins had yesterday. Again, should be easy money for Gibbs on Sunday. And then we already talked about what we like about Achane and Taylor. Those are the 3 guys I am prioritizing up top today.
This is craziness. First of all, Chase Brown to me is like the best of all of these plays. And
I agree.
I don't know why anybody's saying I don't want to play him. The only negative to Chase Brown at all to me is just how high owned he's going to be, because he is a spectacular. But first of all, he props out at 17.3, which is, it's right there. It's higher than everybody else other than, your McCaffrey, Bijan, and then Achane. So he's the next man up. He's a little cheaper. I love that play. And I also agree, like, these other names, you can't not play Jonathan Taylor at home in that spot. You just got to get a little bit of it. How much? I don't know. But you got to get some of that, especially at low. I'm going to be more than what the field exposure is on someone like Jonathan Taylor.
I do have a question for you guys then. Since these are all really good plays, right? Probably one of the first weeks of the season that we're going to see this, where the top range from 6,500 and up to 8K, there are some seriously viable plays. How are you going to play this in terms of planning your flag with one guy? If you had to plan your flag with one guy, who are you planning it with to be in that 50% plus range if you had to go that way?
For me, it's Achane.
To me, this is one of the very few pay up at running back weeks on DraftKings. I like running back in the flex as well. I'm not going to eliminate that as an option. Usually I will go very heavy wide receiver in the flex. I think this is the week where you have some very good value at wide receiver. So you want to get those running backs that we have here that are very good plays. Like for example, Chase Brown. The Bengals have the highest team total on the slate. They got it's 27 points by far. He is not only great access to those points, but he's the cheapest access to those points. He's cheaper than Jamar Chase. So I guess long-winded way to say, for one of the few weeks of the year that I'll be paying up a running back and reserving a lot of the flex spots for running back as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on the flex. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I want to clarify. I didn't X Chase Brown out of my player pool or anything. He's still showing up in lineups. But he's not going to be someone I'm over the field on.
All right. I really like Chase Brown, but of course there are a lot of good running back plays. But I would also say Chase Brown kind of delineates from what I consider like the stud group to the much, much less good secondary group of running backs here. And by the which I don't think we necessarily need to delve down into. I'm perfectly cool without touching anybody below the Chase Brown price at running back this week. And I love a cheap running back. Like, I am that guy. But this week, I think if it's okay not to delve below, we're going to have to, there's a lot of low cost wide receivers, so many, and they're all spectacular. So it's not difficult to kind of afford 3 really good running backs, but we will look at this lower cost group. And I'm just going to give a couple of thoughts. I would love to hear though, your guys' take, if there's anybody. Brees. So I'm going to go around and Brees, we're going to look for one, and it shouldn't be Brees Hall, but we're going to look for one running back under 6,500 that anybody likes. And I'm just going to shit on a couple of them before we get into it. I don't want you-
Don't shit on one of the ones I'm going to pick.
I'm just
Maybe. First of all, Brees
a
Hall.
wild statement.
No. No. I'm not touching Brees Hall. The risk is not worth the reward, Josiah. The risk is Brees Hall, up against the Steelers, tough defensive matchup,
But
out of
worse
the game.
this season, more than likely, because they lost a few key pieces that
That's
stop
fair.
that help with their run defense.
I just don't know that Brees Hall is going to get more than 50-60% of the touches.
That's the scary part, but he's 1% owned, so I can get 5 to 10%, and I'm done.
There's
Plus,
nothing.
he's RB2 at best. That's the other thing with Brees.
He's what? Oh, on his own team.
RB2 at best because Justin Fields is RB1.
Nah. Listen, that's a bias.
The running backs have never thrived with Justin under the helm. I'll just put it that
You would
way.
know. You would know.
It's not that great. So I don't love. And plus, he's 200 less than Chase Brown. I'm playing Chase Brown. Why would I play this guy, even with the leverage? But Alvin Kamara.
Don't forget.
Oh, here we go.
Massive underdog. Gross Spencer Rattlesnake as your quarterback. How the hell is he going to score? No. Now
Everyone needs to be fired. How did he end up the starting quarterback again this season? That is just
They drafted
brutal.
a guy in the second round too. It's crazy.
they don't like him.
They're
And he
throwing.
stinks.
There's a couple of names down here that carry some interest. James and Chuba Hubbard. That's who I would certainly make exceptions for. I think James Conner. I already love Arizona defense, the rattlesnake and the whole thing. Might as well pair it up with the running back. No problem there. He should be popular, and he is popular, 70% owned, and he projects extremely well, way better than everybody else in this zone.
Look at Chuba's prop projection. It
The
just
prop
kind of
is
indication for me right now. Okay.
What the heck is going on with Chuba's prop?
It likes Alvin.
The numbers no. Geek. The numbers no.
I got to trust that number. It's gross. Kenny Walker, gross. RJ Harvey, disgusting. Tony Pollard, okay, I guess.
Against the Broncos?
I'm not doing that. I
In
like
Denver?
the prop, but I'm not playing Tony. I'm not playing him against Broncos defense.
The only good thing about Tony is that there's no Tajay Spears breathing down his neck because he's out the first 4 weeks.
He'll get the full run, but really, I'm not sure that there's a lot of upside there. You can call Tyrone if you want.
No.
No one?
I love Tyrone. Not as much this week necessarily, but he was him and Javonte were my two best ball steals.
Best ball.
Yeah.
You were getting great value on Tyrone when all the knuckleheads thought Scattaboo was going to take the starting job away from him. And then
still might, who knows, but
eventually, but clearly the Giants were like, what are you talking about? That's not what we're doing here. We like Tyrone Tracy. Some in the chat, I've seen a few call outs for so actually I'll just throw it to you guys. Is there anyone in this zone here? You've got Jerome Ford and people are talking about him. J.K. Dobbins is starting. Fling picked Dobbins in his draft battle lineup against me. And I was like, what? And he's like, what do you mean? Dobbins is great. So he's from Denver and loves Dobbins this week. I was like, really? Dobbins? But then again, 1% owned. And it's a favored situation against a dead opponent.
He did it last year.
If it wasn't Sean Payton, I would be far more on board.
Okay.
But Sean Payton, he's not to
Any
be trusted.
low-cost running backs popping for you guys at all? And I'll just. Is there anyone for you, Bobby Wow, down here? Somebody mentioned Travis Etienne.
Let's let Burns go because Etienne.
Burns, you had a guy down here.
Well, I mean, Etienne, they're going up against Carolina, and we've seen what happens to Carolina on a week-to-week basis in 2024 and even in 2023. Etienne, if he is the guy, this is my only issue with Etienne. Is he the guy or not? Mm-hmm. And there is no indication whether or not he's going to be the guy week to week to week. But below this, I do have a guy, and I think he is criminally underowned, and it's Austin Eckler. Oh my God, under 1%. This guy, I wrote him up. He is a 3-star play for me on a confidence level. This guy, get him into your lineups. With that game. This is crazy.
The ownership's going up for sure.
Under 1% ownership at 49 or 4,800.
He's
And
the
there
one
is-
guy I'll
there's no
be
B-Rob.
heavy on that's cheap.
There's
It's not
no
gonna be that
B-Rob.
way.
And so you got Eckler. Eckler has the pass catching abilities. I really think I think the Giants could get after Jaden Daniels in this game.
Yes.
With this new defensive line,
Carter.
the remade defensive line. I mean, this is kind of why I'm thinking Eckler on this one. So it's a remade defensive line. They brought in the best defensive lineman in the country last year, in Abdul Carter.
Mhm.
He is going to get after the quarterback this year. It's just a matter of when. And they got Brian Burns. They got Thibodeau. They got a stout defensive line. Okay. And the only way you're going to get around them is through the air short. And Eckler provides that, as does Ertz, as does Debo. So the over the top type plays with McLaurin, I just don't think they're going to be there this weekend. I think it's going to be short passing situations, and this is where Debo and Eckler come into play for me. And I don't mind stacking them together without Jaden Daniels.
Agreed.
How much Eckler are you comfortable with?
10%. Max.
10%?
10% max. And
Yeah.
in 150, that's only 15 lineups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I
be
wouldn't go more than
15-ish.
Yeah.
And again, he's probably more of a DraftKings play for me. It's not that he's going to rush for 100 yards,
Yep.
against this
Absolutely.
defense, but the PPR upside is absolutely there, and the prop projection would indicate that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
BobbyWow, FanDuel perspective. Trevion Henderson, 4,700 on FanDuel, below Stone Mint.
My gut reaction when you told me earlier was, okay, this Patriots backfield is too much of a mess, but he is so unbelievably cheap. I didn't think he was. I thought he was in the fives, but 4,700, he's absolutely puntable on FanDuel. You don't really want to do this on FanDuel, but in theory, you could go Genty, Henderson, and have room to spend on whatever else you want.
Whatever you want on FanDuel.
So he's a punt option on my sheet.
I don't mind that. I don't even mind playing them on the same game against each other. I'm like, all right, whatever. But you might not need the money. Ja'Cory, Krosky, Merritt, Call Me Bill, 4K, Burns. You're not worried about Bill?
Not yet. It's too early.
I'm okay having exposure to a couple of those guys. Again, they're so low owned. You can have 1% to 2% exposure and just have them in the mix. We mostly because it's week one and we've seen it before in week one. J.K. Dobbins is a great example of that. We weren't sure if it was Dobbins or Gus. Everyone went towards Gus because who freak knows why. But it actually ended up being J.K. Dobbins. And so for me, week one, I'm always comfortable taking those shots on these situations where we really don't know who the guy is. I'll have exposure to the chalky guy, but still mix in some of those guys who have just as much potential upside.
Yeah, it's a hell no for Damian Pierce for me. A hell to the no. But I did, Burns, you just sparked a little thought in me. And I could see an argument for a little taste of Trey Benson in this matchup. I'm probably not going to do it. But
yeah, I can see where you could go with that too. Yeah.
Just a heavy favorite Arizona, a defense game. You got the old guy in there, Connor. I just think we're still that play. The team has said we want to really split the touches a little bit better, but I just think we can get. I don't want a split guy. I just want a guy getting all the carries because this week it's so easy to afford. But on another week, I might be interested in a Trey Benson at 4,600 just because of that salary savings, and not super different from Austin Eckler, where effectively what we're hoping for is like a low volume touchdown or two. Just that works out in your favor. Like it's not, Eckler's not going to see 23 touches in this game. No way.
No, but he could catch 5 or 6 passes out of the back.
Yes. Yeah, he can get it done on lower volume with some explosive plays. It's probably not going to come off of like a volume approach. And that's kind of what Trey Benson is. Kind of in the game, get his 13 touches, but they're just valuable, or they wind up working out, or that late game comes he's in there in the fourth quarter, just kind of running out the clock. Breaks one.
Yeah.
80-yarder. He's like
16 from Eckler is good. That would be all I would be expecting out of him. Anything above 16, that is icing on the cake, man.
Just to play devil's advocate really quick here, and part of why I pay up at running back this week, is because, yes, I think Eckler's in a great spot, and I will have exposure to him. But you've got Ekbuka. Again, he's going to be the clear WR2 in Tampa with Baker slinging the ball, and he's cheaper than Eckler on this slate. Okay, so like this is a prime time where you can pay, and there's a couple of those types of guys, not as good, but you can pay down and afford to pay up at running back. So that's really maybe the biggest argument against Eckler for me.
Yeah,
Yep. Agreed. All right, gentlemen.
One quick question before we jump. For the Henderson play, are y'all worried about Ramondre at all there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely.
Oh, if it wasn't for the Ramondre, we'd be like all in on Henderson.
Yes,
I might have
exactly.
missed that part.
Cato says yes.
The queen.
First
All right.
appearance.
All right. Let's move on to the wide receiver position.
I do. Can we touch on one thing before we move on?
Yeah.
Because there is some viability here. If CMC is out, it is Brian Robinson day.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm not. It's going to be Brian Robinson. I don't know if you go all in on him, but
He's not that cheap, Burns. He's not cheap enough.
he's 5,800. So
It's not cheap enough.
I think he can be in the 20 to 25% range for you in your lineups. But yeah.
The other thing, though, we learned about B-Rob is he's not a super comfortable pass catcher. So I think Garendo spells him on third down in pass catching situation. That would be my biggest concern there.
Yeah. I wouldn't call that a lock, but what is the salary for B-Rob on FanDuel?
It's probably around the same, right? In the 5s or 6s, isn't he?
If it's in that level, then I'll be much more excited on FanDuel. I knew DraftKings
he's 6,200, so he's cheap,
but
not like a free square by any means, even on FanDuel.
Free. Yeah. Remember, if they hadn't priced him as the starter of the Commanders, we'd get 1 week of Brian Robinson at 4,200 on DraftKings, at 5K or 4,600, like sub 5K on FanDuel. So it's kind of a bummer that we didn't get the free square that we normally do with a late week injury. Again, what if maybe McCaffrey will miraculously heal?
I think he plays.
Yeah, I guess not.
I think
I'm going to play him as long as he is listed as playing.
Yeah, I think he plays. I'm not worried about him playing.
I got a story earlier today that and I'm not even sure if this is true, but I do have it from a good source that like the 49ers were so careful with McCaffrey that like after his plays were done in practice, they'd have a cart come get him and pick him up from midfield just to like reduce the total number of steps that he's putting on his, scientifically re-engineered calves. I'm like, dude, that sounds terrible.
That's what some of these reporters were saying is the 49ers are exercising infant-like caution with McCaffrey. He could have scuffed up his calf for all we know, and they're just like, let's say. So
the Panthers did the same thing towards the end of his tenure there. Like he rarely ever practiced. He was always limited. Everyone's worried about him every week, and then he went out there and smashed.
Razzle says that CMC just said in an interview that it's nothing serious and he feels great. So mayhaps all of the panic is for naught.
Yeah.
Can I ask about one more guy before we move on to wide receiver?
Yeah.
Just more so on FanDuel.
Yes.
Where are we at on Nick Chubb?
I have zero interest in Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Zero.
Okay.
Personally,
I don't either. He's not on my sheet right now. But
I don't think he does well this weekend.
But it feels like he has the keys. He's the guy, right, in the backfield. Yeah. It's kind of like a Javonte situation for now until if and when Joe comes back. He's
5,200. He doesn't catch a pass. How bad is he going to burn me as a road underdog? Doesn't catch a pass.
No, I agree. He's not on my sheet. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm just glad we talked about it.
I wasn't missing something.
I don't like any of them. Metal Tomei. I don't like any of them. Now, I could absolutely be wrong. I just don't like any of them. I maybe I need to see it with my eyes.
I'm with you. I'm with
Pierce, they hate Pierce. They actively, I don't know why he's there. I think they keep Pierce around. You know how you have like in your pledge class when you did the fraternity, there was one dude who was like, what the fuck is this guy doing with you? And it was just like the comic relief of the class. Burns, you know what I'm talking about. Like, why is he in here with you guys? And it's just like, we keep him around because the guy's hilarious. That's what Pierce is. They don't want to play him. They hate him. But like, he sticks around. I don't know why. He's that guy. He's that pledge brother of yours that's like, really? And the girls are like, that guy is in here? And you're like, yeah, dude, he's funny as hell. But he's not funny. It's just making fun of them that's funny. It's not him actually being funny. We had a guy like that. His name was the Dog Father. The dog. Guy was hilarious. I was like, why was he around? It was like, because I'm laughing all the time when he's in the room. That's what Pierce is. He's hilarious. One name we didn't mention, guys. Sorry. Back to DFS and away from whatever the hell that was. Jalen Warren's actually getting the straight start for the Steelers at 5,200. And, you know, the Jets do suck, like typically, generally. And the Steelers are probably going to have to run the football like massively in this game if they're going to have any chance. I don't understand. How are the Steelers moving the football? They're either throwing it to Jonnu or they're not going to get it. They're not going to complete passes to DK Metcalf double covered by Sauce and you know, whoever else. Metcalf is not that kind of wide receiver. So they just, if Warren's not scoring touchdowns for the Steelers, I don't think the Steelers are scoring touchdowns.
I mean, they might not. This could be like a 14-3 game. Like, who knows?
It's going to be the lines are even going down on this game. It was at 38.5 this morning. It's now like 37.5. So I don't know. This game is just play the defense.
Welcome to the Justin Fields era.
Just play the defense.
Brees.
I am playing Jets defense, but we'll get to that. Wide receiver group for NFL week 1. Let's sort by P owns.
There's so many good plays.
I mean, there's so many good plays. Guys, there's so many good plays at wide receiver. There's a reason why the chalk is not happening here. It's the goodness is everywhere. And it's hard to differentiate which one is better than what. Even Igbuga is not showing up as the highest owned, although I continue to think he's probably the best play. But like, there are so many good plays. How do we decide? How do you differentiate? Do you just mix them all in the mix or build around games? There's so many different ways to go. We're gonna differentiate them, guys, from high cost to low cost, because we have to find a way on screen to really, even in our conversation, to differentiate between these groups. But man, it's hard to want to get too heavy into any one wide receiver on this slate. This is why you might actually not want to go 3 running back. As great as they are, the wide receivers are great also. And so this is just like a plethora of good times at the wide receiver position. So let's start up top. And again, you're going to now see a bunch of guys in great spots, almost every one of them. So I don't know how you differentiate, but of course, at the very top, Jamar Chase, best wide receiver in the game, right? Best guy, most expensive, 8,100, but reasonably priced technically for what he does. Of course, Puka in every healthy game that he's ever played with Stafford seems to have smashed. So we got Puka there. Tough matchup, but who cares? Nico Collins on the flip side of that game, the only wide receiver in town for the Texans. They don't have anybody else. Christian Kirk ruled out. Yep. Who's the other guy? I don't know.
They're 2 rookies now.
Yeah,
Higgins and Noel.
And you know what happened? There was no hype for those guys in the preseason. They're like, I didn't hear any hype for any of those rookies in the preseason. Nothing.
No Christmas in September for you, Geek? No Noel? I said no Christmas in September.
Noel plays like the slot role.
Did Higgins play that much in the preseason, though?
It's not even the preseason. There was no buzz out of camp like this guy looks good. Like we got buzz about Matthew Golden. All the rookies, there was positive buzz. Igbuka, nonstop buzz. Just an endless stream of this guy is awesome. No one said a damn word about Jaden Higgins. And actually, I think it's Noel who is more of the slot guy anyway. He's a smaller wide receiver. He might benefit, but man, talk about scary button click on a week with lots of value. Like, why would I do that? So anyway, Nico, only game in town. Amon-Ra, tough matchup on the road outdoors, but Amon-Ra is just always disrespected and will get it in your face and it shows in the ownership. Nobody's really like popping for ownership. Malik Neighbors, man, do I love Malik Neighbors every single week. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never even seen him play with Russell Wilson. It doesn't even matter. It's Malik. He got it done with Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah, if you get it done with Cutlets, you can do it.
You got it done with Cutlets, dude. He can get it done with anybody. And then, Tyreek Hill, why? Why do I need that? I don't want these troubles in my life. Mm-mm. And then, Mike Evans, so many good plays. So with that being said, it's really even difficult to leverage ownership here because they're all about 15% owned. The field can't figure out who's better than what. If I sort these guys by like fantasy points per dollar versus their prop based projection, it does seem to pop on like a Drake London, Mike Evans in this zone here. They seem to be the better value guys, but value doesn't really do anything for me in a tournament. I'm looking for upside. So with that being said, BobbyWow, give me 2 pay up options that you're feeling a little better about than, just I like them all except for maybe Hill. I'm probably not going to play much of that, but give me 2 pay up options here that you like above the others.
Yeah, I think for me, it starts with Nico. The fact that Christian Kirk is out, not that Kirk is, a major detractor in the first place, but Nico Collins is an absolute stud. Maybe the most underrated wide receiver in football because the Texans have been underwhelming. So I really, really like Nico Collins. I like that he's $700 less than Chase. And to me, like, it's a matter of who makes the case for themselves and who do I have to make a case for? Like I look at Puka, for example. Puka's a great wide receiver, right? Puts up tons of points with Stafford, but tougher matchup against the Texans. And we no longer have the ghost of Cooper Kupp lining up opposite him. We have Devontae Adams. So we don't really know how that situation is going to play out. So, again, Puka, that's kind of an eliminator for me in terms of getting heavy exposure. So it's Nico and Brian Thomas Jr., I think is the other guy that stands out. Somebody who's under 7K, arguably the best matchup, one of the best matchups on the slate. I don't like having to trust Trevor, but you don't even have to trust Trevor. Brian Thomas just explodes either way. So even if Trevor Lawrence doesn't perform, BTJ finds a way to put up massive points. So I'm going to go with BTJ. I think it's those 2 guys up top.
So hard to choose. Burns, Shark Lab, what are the numbers pointing to for pay up wide receivers this week? Give me 2, only 2. Don't go past it.
This is the reason why I'm not really going so super heavy on Chase Brown this week. Is that I can get Mike Evans at 6,600, who could explode this entire slate at 45, 50 DraftKings points in a matter of like minutes. I mean, this guy is like incredible. Like this is what he do. So Mike Evans against Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if they got a guy that can actually stop this guy. So I this is why I say, like, I like Chase, but give me Evans in that 40 plus potential there. Plus I think he's criminally underowned for his abilities, especially in a game that could actually shoot out. Everybody's looking at Ibuka. I love Ibuka. Watched him for 4 years at Ohio State. Amazing wide receiver for us. But let me tell you, like, Mike Evans is the dude in this offense. He's been the dude. He will continue to be the dude. Ibuka is the shiny new toy right now. So let the ownership gravitate towards him. And I love Evans. I'll have stacks of Evans and Baker all day long. And the other guy that I like is, and I like so many, so don't hate me on this. I'm going to keep it in the same game. Drake London at 6,500. My only problem with Drake London, and I'm writing this up about him, is he has not had a good week 1 in his career. It's been bad. The last year was his best week 1 performance, and he had 60 yards receiving. He had no touchdowns. So that's kind of why I'm pumping the brakes a little bit on him. But Drake London is a stout receiver in this offense. I think the offense actually runs through him in this week. It's going to run through him and Bijan Robinson. I mean, those are the 2 dudes on this. They're studs. So I like both of them, and you can get at them in the same lineup very easily.
I like it. I think with Evans and this point is made here. You want to get him while he's super healthy, and I don't even get a Q tag, right? Like you get full healthy, no Q tag Evans. How many times this season are we going to see that? This might be the only week.
Same with CNC.
So tough to choose. From this range. They're all so good. Josiah, what about you? Anybody different? And don't force it if you're kind
Yeah.
of
Well, I mean, I'll talk about someone I don't love. Jamar Chase. He just typically struggles in this matchup, especially when he's at home or when he's away against at the Brown Stadium. He has a solid performance, but is not like blowing teams out typically. So at 8,100, I'm not forcing that. Love the Nico Collins call. The only other guy I'm looking at is Amon-Ra. That Packers defense, if y'all can't tell, I'm so close to pulling the trigger on Goff. That Packers defense is not as scary as it used to be. I think Goff is going to have plenty of time to throw. I think he's someone that I want to make sure is showing up in my lines.
Goff is going to be super contrarian. You should definitely play that in big tournaments. If you feel at all, I did study Goff's like performances from last year, and it's very up and down. But when it's up, right?
Mhm.
Like when he hits, and a lot of time when he misses, it's because Jamie and Montgomery are going bananas. But like when he hits, he hits. But again, there's like a narrative that indoor dome can't play outside.
Yeah.
Dude, it's freaking January. It's freaking September. Outside is like inside right now. It's not like there's that big of a difference. All right. Scrolling down. So I agree with everything. I'm not even going to add too much here. I like the guys. I like them all. I like Malik. Take some of that. But all of these high-end guys. But the real money is going to be made at wide receiver this week, paying down, because we saw that it makes a lot of sense to try to grab Bijan or HN or 6,500 plus price point running backs this week, which is going to put us on where we can maybe grab one of these guys, maybe a second one, and mostly in this sub 6K zone and below. And there's so many great plays. The goodness continue. Wide receiver is so good that maybe it's because we haven't seen him play yet, so I haven't gotten negative about these guys yet, but I'm like so excited about every one of these spots. So let's get to the secondary group here. Garrett Wilson up top, right? Terry McLaurin, okay. Devontae Adams, haven't seen him play, could be spectacular, but it's not a great matchup. Sutton, if you're playing Knicks. Metcalf, I don't love that much here, but JSN, only game in town for the Seahawks. I can't wait to see Jackson Smith and Jigba getting all the targets. You continue scrolling down. Marvin Harrison is popular for some reason this week, so curious about that. Jerry Jeudy with Flacco in that one. You've got a lot of great names here, and then it continues down to about 4,400. I'm going to say all the way down to about 4,400, and with Pearsall and Cedric Tillman kind of rounding out I'm really cool with any of these guy zone. So, Josiah, I'm going to go to you here, and we're going to talk about like next level wide receivers, and give me a couple of names. And again, it's a really, really attractive group. Most of them are not getting too much ownership. 1% own Cooper Kupp. You've got 6% on Steffi Diggs. Very low ownership on a lot of these. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, 7%. That's super low. So Devontae at 6%. I mean, these numbers are very low.
Yeah, I have two guys I like below 6K. First is Cooper Kupp. I know that's a gross name. We don't really know what he's going to look like, but in camp, he's looked really good, according to all reports, and no one's talking about him. The 49ers defense, once again, like the Packers, not as scary as they used to be. Second play is going to be Jacoby Myers. That Patriots defense, they're banged up with Gonzalez out. Myers is in a really good spot to perform here at 5,100. And then I'll cheat and add one more guy who I absolutely love. I have the adore button on the DSN on him, and it's Matthew Golden. We all love the rookie receivers. And for me, I can list reasons why I don't love a few of the other guys as much as some people do. But Matthew Golden, their entire receiving room is banged up. But Golden, from training camp to now, has been that guy who Jordan Love has had that connection with and has been practicing with all the way up to now. We never know what's actually going to happen, but the Lions, their cornerbacks don't really scare me too much. So if Love can get the ball out, I think Golden is in a really good spot at 4,900.
No one's going to play it, but yeah, you've got Jaden Reed out probably this week as well. Everybody wants that. Like Tucker Kraft is getting a lot of chalk because no one knows where to go with it.
Right.
But yeah, Matthew Golden. What's wrong with Golden? And by the way, I'd expand that out. What's wrong with Travis Hunter? See, I like that face that you're making. That unpleasant face. What the hell's the difference? between Hunter, who was drafted in round 1 rookie. They traded up to get him. And Golden, another rookie that, give
Talk
me
about
some.
somebody didn't hear a lot of buzz about, though. Travis
Yeah.
Hunter for being the second overall pick. I mean, he's going to be fine. But Brian Thomas, that means something.
Yeah, I guess he's the WR2.
And Trevor Lawrence support too, guy.
If you like T-Law. Yeah, a lot of great plays in this zone, guys, though. And it's hard to get leverage. That's a good leverage play, Josiah. Good pick because super low owned Matthew Golden. No one's really talking about him. Everybody's scared to play him. For good reason, maybe, because the way that the Packers spread the football around, but why not? Why not?
So you're playing Love too, Josiah?
No, I'm just playing Golden.
Got it.
No Jolo.
Part of why I love the Cooper Kupp call, Josiah, is because Sam Darnold was never able to elevate Justin Jefferson, to the top of his game. We saw it with Addison a little bit. We saw it with some of those guys in the slot.
WR2.
The WR2. So I'm a little concerned about Darnold more than I am JSN. So
I'm concerned about the way you pronounce Darnold's name, Darnold. Have concerns
It's
about
more
it.
fancy.
It's so fancy. Seeing ghosts over there. Seeing the ghosts. Burns, 2 wide receivers in the secondary category that are popping in the Shark Lab model.
Yeah, I think in this one, I'm gravitating kind of towards MHJ. He's got a good matchup here. He's a good pairing with Connor in this one. You can pair them both in a skinny stack without having Kyler Murray in this lineup. So that one is favorable there. But I also like the game environment on the Cincinnati and Cleveland game. So I like Jerry Jeudy in this one as well. And then Deebo Samuel in that Giants game. I mean, I've talked about him a couple of times here already. So Deebo is kind of the new guy on the block there for them. And so I think they're going to find ways, Cliff Kingsbury's going to try to find ways to get him the ball because, once Deebo gets hurt, he's gone. So, yeah.
And we talked about Eckler and Krosky Merritt, but Deebo could be a guy that really benefits from having no running back in that backfield. We every chance I had, I mentioned on our best ball pods earlier in the season, Geek.
Yeah.
So I'm with Burnsy.
Yeah. And Cliff Kingsbury schemes. I mean, he did a very good job scheming last year, and he schemed when he was with Arizona pretty well. So I could see this. I could see Deebo being schemed into their offense immediately. So
they wanted somebody around the line of scrimmage that they could throw to, that could take the yak. That's what Deebo does. So like maybe they brought him in very specifically for like the role that he does, and they threw it a ton to like basically what is the ghost of Zach Ertz last year. I think because they had no one else to throw to, like Zach Noyak. The second it's like he's got weights tied to his legs, and when he tries to move, and it's just like he's dragging a 50-pound prisoner ball and chain thingy as he's trying to run with it. Like he gets 2 steps and he's just down, right? Think about the contrast if they just give those targets to Deebo and he still has the yak in him. Oh, I mean, it could be exciting. He could be an exciting play. 5,200 week 1. I like that stuff. So I'm gonna point out from this group. I mean, so many to love. I love them all. There's a lot of great spots. Some I don't, but I'm reiterate Jackson Smith and Jigba, really the only game in town for the Seahawks. So I guess if we like him and Cooper Kupp, we might as well throw Sammy Darnold in there. Where
I would just leave JSN for stacks with Brock Purdy and company on the other side.
Or bring backs with Brock. And I love everything to do with the 49ers. I don't know if we're going to go that low in this one, but coming down here sub 5K, I mean, of course, Igbuka
and McMillan for me are almost plug and play. It's going to be very tough for them to not hit value. Very tough. And they're not chalky enough.
I like that Igbuka, like the ownership has come down, not up over the course of this week. Okay. Thank you.
I think Josiah's got something to say about
I will say
he's not going to be a fan about Tet.
I get the Tet love. I really do. I know he hates being called Tet too, but whatever. I prefer it.
I'm going to keep calling him Tet because there's no way I can pronounce that full name. What does he want to be
he
called?
He prefers T-Mac. He likes T-Mac more than Tet.
Okay, I'm cool with that. What I
Yes,
can't
I got
say
that.
is his full name.
Yeah.
What the?
Is
Can
it
you pronounce the name?
Tetoria? Is that how you say it?
Titaroa McMillan. I think that's how you
Okay.
pronounce it.
Titaroa?
Something like that. Don't quote me on that.
There's
But
no way I'm saying that name right.
in the preseason, the one impressive play we saw was pretty much Tet doing a streak, maybe a little bit of a cut towards the end of the route, but it was a pretty long route. Like, he's not getting a ton of slants typically unless they change the playbook. He's not getting those quick throws. And we already know he's not going to have his left tackle, Bryce, and we know he doesn't have the best pocket awareness, there's a good chance the ball might not be getting to Tet very often. Maybe on like those miracle, like, hey, I don't know what's going on, I'm going to launch it. We've seen Bryce do that a ton, and Tet is talented enough to go up there and yank it. It just feels like a little bit more of a dicey play than people are making it out to be, I think.
I think the thought with Tet is with T-Mac is that they don't have anyone else. I think that's really it just boils down. People love a guy who's going to get forced volume, and you kind of think, like, who else are they going to throw to? They definitely don't enjoy throwing it to Xavier Legette. We learned that last year. Xavier Legette doesn't really have a route tree that is conducive to volume targets. He's probably going to be going deep on the outside and doing some of that. And I don't know, but that's kind of seemed like what Legette was about. And like Hunter Renfrow, I don't really have a lot of, I know the real Jizu here in the chat is a big Hunter Renfrow promoter, but in
They
general,
cut him, and then they cut him first.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't have that much.
We traded Adam Thielen, and we were like, oh, we have Coker now. We can make it happen. And then Coker got hurt.
Whoops.
But the one thing I'll say is I do think that Legette is actually the one who will get those shorter routes than T-Mac. I think they thought Legette was a receiver one quality, and so they tried to give him those deeper routes last year. They realized he's not quite that guy, but he's a little bit better as a receiver too. So I think we'll see how things play out week one, but I wouldn't be shocked if Legette or Renfrow actually end up having more points than Tet.
The sports book or the props projection is what sold me on Tet. That's part of why I love him, because there's no one in his salary range that comes close outside of Ikbuka, who's cheaper.
Yeah. Which makes him he's got to be a cash viable just based on his fantasy points per dollar prop is so much higher than anyone else here. And there's other great plays, but he's anyone else here north of Ikbuka.
Josiah, who was your second play?
Happier than me.
Who was your second play? Your wide receivers that you gave?
You said Jacoby.
Did you say Jacoby Myers?
Golden.
Yeah,
Jacoby.
I think he might be one of the sneakiest on the slate. He is insanely cheap. You know, Geek, you talked about how they finally have a quarterback that can throw the ball in Geno. He's the WR1. You know, I know they got Bowers too, but man, 5,100 for Jacoby. That's wild.
Steal.
Look at the numbers, guys, and let's just simplify this because maybe sometimes we think of DFS more difficult than maybe it needs to be. And then when you look at these numbers, it does tell the story. JSN almost 14. There's a big drop, like for Jameson Williams, for example, tournament viable guy, but 10.6 on the prop projection.
I mean,
that's
MHJ's up there in the 13s.
Yeah, MHJ 13.4. That's a really good number for him. And what I like about MHJ and your call, Burns, MHJ, I didn't like him at 6,500 all season last year. I thought he was reputationally priced. I used to talk about this with Terry McLaurin quite a bit, where he was just always in the mid sixes, but never, he had years of not justifying. He still barely justifies that price point, even with Jaden. Even with him, he's just now acceptably priced. He's not underpriced. With Harrison, MHJ, like at 5,500, it's like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm not paying for last year. He was up to 7K. They priced him with like the studs and like really good 7,200 most weeks. If I click on him on DraftKings, you'll see price points in the sevens. And it's like, what the fuck has this guy done to earn a 7 in front of his name? But at 5,500, okay, same price as Ted McMillan. All right, now we're in the right price point.
100%.
Yeah, totally acceptable here.
I think he even started the season last year at 7,200 in week one was MHJ's price tag on DraftKings last year.
John Marchese, how do you know? How do you know? Get out of my head. Get out of my brain, John Marchese. And Jerry Jeudy here at 13.6. Like, this guy's got a great prop. Remember last season, Jerry Jeudy had a 200+ yard game. Jerry Jeudy. He was almost Juju Smith-Schuster level failure and disappointment in his first few seasons. And then he goes to the Browns and starts studying. Who knew? Who knew? So Jerry Jeudy could work.
He got out of Cortland Sutton's shadow.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know, but he looks good on his new team. So all these guys with the 12, Ted McMillan, 13.8. Yeah, sure. Jacoby over 12. Even Olave. You know, I'm not playing Olave. Come on. I'm not playing a wide receiver connected to the rattlesnake, but he doesn't have a concussion this week. So
yeah,
that, I'm not doing that though. Ridley, tough matchup. No bueno. Thank you. Next week we'll talk.
Yeah, not this week. Next week.
Call me week 2. We're gonna be in touch. Ridley, week 2. Jawan Jennings unowned, healthy, 4,900. Last season, if you got Jawan Jennings for 4,900, you were very excited to click that button all day. You didn't think twice.
That ownership's probably going to go up, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I do not think so. And then, of course, if we like Daniel Jones, nothing wrong with a little Josh Down pairing or Pittman, something like that. So a lot of really great plays here in this zone. And the best of them all, in my humble opinion,
I agree,
is Emeka Egbuka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get much better than that for that price tag.
I'm going to jump back on one other name, though. I don't even have to say he's core play for me. I have literally videos from a month ago about how core play Egbuka is, and we loaded up on him in best ball, so we're good. But even with Jawan Jennings back, guys, I kind of like Ricky Pearsall now. I might like him even more because now he's going to be unowned or low-owned Ricky Pearsall.
I like him more than Jennings for sure.
Yeah, like low-owned version of it. I'm not saying I want to pay up, but I think this ownership will continue to decline as the word gets out that Jawan Jennings is back in. And I love Pearsall. I loved him coming into the season, and it was not dependent on a Jawan Jennings injury. If you guys have been hanging with me for all of best ball season, I've been going crazy for Pearsall all offseason. Then Jennings got hurt and he shoots up, and I'm like, oh man, I was getting him for free. Now I got to pay. This sucks. But like, I still like him.
yeah. You're doing it before it was cool. I saw was it your best ball sheet or your season long draft cheat sheet?
Yeah, it was
had Pearsall as a core play before everyone else was talking about it.
I know. It was highlighted, and I was like, I can't believe he's going at pick 100. This guy is going to be somebody you're excited to start. And then it just like shot up the draft board. Egbuka, the same thing, shot up the draft boards. So I hope I need to turn. Yeah. Ray Zanny was with all of, Ray Zanny was in those best ball streams where we were talking that up, and him and Egbuka. So we'll see if it comes true, though. I'm not taking credit yet. He actually has to do something before we can give ourselves the old back pat for that call. Guys, I'm just going to give you one shot. Sub 4,400. And Tillman also, I just want to mention, he's great. I love Tillman. 1.8% own. I'm going to have exposure to Cedric at 2%. Don't care. All right. The guy was the WR1 for the Browns last year before he got hurt, and he's healthy for a minute. Let's take advantage of it. But sub Cedric, anybody that you're possibly interested in, and maybe the answer is I don't need to go there this week, which might actually very much be true. I have not had to dive below 4,400 so far personally in the lineups that I've created, but anybody down here that and Bobby, I'll start with you and we'll go around real quick. Just give me one name or none. Anybody sub 4,400 that you're even willing to click a button on this week?
Really, the only guy is Leggett, and even then, I think you're asking for trouble going below that range.
It's just not needed.
There's too much good value.
If this was a normal week, I'd have a bunch of names that I kind of am interested in, but it's just not that. There's so much value. Like, yeah, do I like Darius Slayton? Sure, but would I rather just pay 300 more and get Pearsall, Egbuka, Jawan Jennings, those guys? Yes. So it's hard to justify any of these. So you've got Bobby Wow. You said, remind me what you just said.
Leggett and Ray. Those are my two names.
Yeah, Ray. Burns, anybody down here popping on the model?
I mean, everybody's hurt in Green Bay, so maybe Romeo Dobbs. But
Yeah.
I'm not like shooting that one off at the top of the Empire State Building. Like, play him. No, if we had to go this low, then maybe.
Yeah, crowd chat talking about Ray, Wandale. Yeah, some of those names. Rashid Shaheed popped up a little bit. Man, if Rashid had a real quarterback, I'd be more excited.
It would be so easy.
What if I'm wrong about the Rattler, and what if he's good?
You're not wrong.
No, not wrong about that one.
I wanted to find a reason to play him, but no, it doesn't make sense.
At this point, he has to prove that he's not bad. He's had enough chances.
Exactly.
Guys, 357 at least watching live right now. Who knows? Could be more. Hit that like button, guys. Good stuff. We appreciate everybody hanging out in real time, live. And of course, those of you watching on the replay as well, we appreciate you as well. Josiah.
Yeah, my guy is going to be Dante Thornton Jr. Again, not super sexy. Don't feel like you need to go down here too much. But with Amari Cooper gone and Gonzalez out, he's the one who should see a little bit of a softer matchup. So he's the guy that I'm going to have some exposure to.
Yeah. All right. I like it. I mean, there's names down here. I just don't feel the need to go there this week. I will not have anybody in my lineups as much as the names that were mentioned just now are good and great on a regular week of DFS. This is just a special week where both FanDuel and DraftKings gave us the bargains. They didn't want to make it hard week one. They do it on purpose, I believe. Like they do.
They bring in the casuals. They bring in the casuals.
You can win. You can make money.
Yeah.
They bring in the casuals. That's why they can't make it tough for them.
Yeah.
We got a couple of Westbrook Akine call outs during this show. BobbyWow, you're the Westbrook Akine whisperer. Is this the week?
No,
it's not this week. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's not this week. But we will keep the name in mind for the rest of the season, but it's not this week. All right. Fair enough. Let's do a quick sort of tight end by P-owned first. And note that this is some interesting ownership. I don't know. Is this interesting to you guys? Highest owned Njoku, then Tucker Kraft, which is crazy. That's absolutely bonkers to me. And then Kittle, who is the actual best play on the slate, is the third highest owned. You got Browers and Trey McBride, who are both super studs all the time, fourth and fifth. And then my guy, Brenton Strange, bringing up the rear, Tyler Warren, Jatavion Saunders, and just, it just goes downhill after that. Just goes downhill after that. So with that being said, ban user and delete comment for NFL streaming game guy. Sorry, I just did that. Let's talk the tight end position. Josiah, Njoku and Kraft, the highest owned, followed by Kittle. We have our super studs with Bowers and Trey McBride. And in fairness, the prop-based projections, the name that they like the most, it's Njoku and Trey McBride.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. They're not expensive. They're not going to break the bank or whatever. But why don't you like Kraft? What did he do to you?
I just don't think he deserves to be chalk. I like Tucker Kraft, but I don't want to pay. Like, Tucker Kraft is my sneaky play. Like, oh, I have an idea. There's some injuries. And then I look up and he's like the highest owned, and that just annoys me. It's not so much that I don't like Kraft. I think he's a good play. It just annoys me.
4K. And
he's not that cheap.
I like him at 3 in the threes.
I like him at 3% ownership, not
that too.
13%.
Yeah.
That's my issue, Josiah. It's just an ownership, and he's a little priced up. But I get why the field will be on him. But why not just play Brenton Strange at that point? You can get him for 3K.
This Strange thing you have going on too, I really don't get. Like, he's never shown a lot of signs of being any kind of good. But why do you like him?
Because he did show a sign. He has a 12. He has a 12.
I think he had one good week, and it was at min price.
I never forget a good week. I love them forever. That's me. I'm like, they had one good week once, and all I can remember is that time he got 12 targets.
Hey, if he won you money, I get it. For me, it's going to be Njoku and Kittle up here. Those are the two guys I'm prioritizing.
Are you concerned that the props don't love Kittle that much? Like, I'm kind of looking at this going,
It is worrisome, and he does go ghost sometimes. I liked him more when we thought Jennings might be out, but No, I'm not overly concerned. I'm still going to play him, but it does give me a little bit of pause.
it's definitely not like bad chalk or anything either. There's not none of these are that chalky. So, Burns, who is the Shark Lab excited about at the tight end position this week?
Yeah, I have a lot of excitement on all these guys, minus maybe Tucker Craft. I think Njoku's in a great spot. I like that game. Kittle, fantastic. Trey McBride may be the best of them all, and he's going to be lowest owned of all these top guys. Couple of guys that are going under owned that could actually have decent days. Kyle Pitts. He could have a decent game in that one. And then Hunter Henry as well. I like the fact that Hunter Henry is 3,900 this week. It just opens up some things for you. So I could go there, and it's actually a better play, I think, than Brenton Strange, in my opinion. But there are just some things. And then, I do like Sam Laporta. I'm going to make some lineups with him and Jahmyr Gibbs, just a skinny pairing between the two of them. I think Laporta could get a touchdown or two in this one. And I think Gibbs could get the rest. So
is there concern for the chalkiest tight end on the slate, Njoku, that the Browns have been treating Harold Fannin Jr., the rookie, as if he's like also a starter, and maybe they might even run, some double tight end sets out there. Any concern that the chalkiest guy on the entire slate does have a rookie sort of like guy that the team is in love with, competing with him?
Yeah, it's a concern, but I don't think it's a concern for week one. I think it's a concern as we move forward, especially if they're not going to bring Njoku back on contract. I think he's in his contract year this year.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to replace Njoku, and they love Fannin Jr. He's a pass catcher. I just don't know. I mean, you're in like the Cleveland zone of living. I don't know. Like, I know there's been a lot of buzz about Fannin Jr.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of, especially because he came out of Bowling Green State University, which is an Ohio school. There's a lot of buzz going on in the state of Ohio for Fannin. So I think he's going to get there. I just don't think he is there this week. I think he's probably going to be a later on, like next year maybe type piece. I don't know.
The streets of Toledo are abuzz with excitement.
Yeah. Streets of Toledo.
Harold Fannin Jr. BobbyWow, give me a couple of tight ends this week that interest you.
I think everyone's covered the main ones. I'll give you two kind of more off the radar guys. I think there's a lot of love for Bo Nix this week, but I'm not hearing enough Evan Ingram talk. I think, again, if he can stay healthy, I think he is a big time weapon for that team who really hasn't settled on a WR2 at this point. There's young and talented guys in that room. There's probably three of them who could be WR2 behind Sutton. But I think Evan Ingram might be second in targets on that team for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of a mid-range salary guy, I really like him, especially paired up with Bo Nix. And then now that Godwin's been ruled out and McMillan's been ruled out, I have a little tiny bit of interest in Cade Otton to mix into those Baker stacks with Evans and Igbuka. I think we've seen some good games out of him, not so much toward the end of the season, but we know he's capable of some ceiling games. And so with their WR3, WR4 down, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he steps up a little bit. So I'll have a little bit of exposure, especially in those game stacks.
I have a gummy tight end for this week.
Wait,
he's
I'll add
definitely
one more too before the gummy. Before the gummy, I'll add one.
Is Cade Otton definitely a go?
Yeah, he's been playing.
Okay,
absolutely. And at 1.7% ownership, you're getting him basically full leverage.
Yeah. I'm just making sure because I will play him.
There's a few other.
Jonnu Smith, Kevin. Any thoughts on him? Didn't you mention?
Oh my God, that's my gummy play. Wait, don't mess me up.
I don't think the gummy play. I like him.
All right, Jonnu Smith. Here. I'm going to give you the pros and the cons. The con is, of course, that he's priced as if he was still playing for Miami and in this great situation and desirably. So that's the negative, right? But the plus with Jonnu Smith, no one wants to play him. He wouldn't even get drafted in best ball. He was being left till the end. everybody's like, screw this. But think about it. He goes back with Arthur Smith, the same offensive coordinator that has had him for his last, like, it just keeps bringing him wherever he goes, bringing him around. He was with the same guy in Atlanta, and we all thought Kylie Pitter was going to be the TE1, and all of a sudden it's Janu Smith beasting in the Arthur Smith offense. A lot of people don't know.
I can't get on board with that.
There could be a relation there. Arthur Smith, Janu Smith. This could be some form of nepotism. I don't know. But now,
gummies or just one?
What's that?
Is that 3 gummies or just one?
It's
very strong stuff. So it's really strong stuff, Burns. So I'm just saying he goes to the Steelers. I just said before that the Steelers are going to have a hard time completing a pass to their only one wide receiver. They don't have one guy on the team, and he's going to be covered by Sauce. He's going to be covered over the top as well. Safety coverage over top. You're not going to let Metcalf burn you.
Sauce was just fine letting people burn him last year. I don't know we could say that either.
But you can put a safety over top. They don't have a second guy. It's just this one guy. So, like, who's going to be this? Calvin Austin? Come on. Roman Wilson? Please. They don't have a second guy. It's like you can double team DK Metcalf in this game.
What about Patty Fry? What about the fact that Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw to his tight ends?
Those are the problems.
What about the fact that the Steelers don't throw the football to begin with?
These are the,
or that he's got the worst
points.
props projection I've ever seen for that salary range.
Those are great points.
There are so many problems with it.
Yes.
Hey, one thing I'll call out, B-Dub, coach for DFS Army for NBA primarily, but also doing some NFL this year, likes Mason Taylor for his gummy play. And if you are liking a little bit of Fields, stacking him with Mason Taylor isn't awful. BobbyWow, as you know, Justin Fields gave Cole Kmet some solid games, give the rookie some touches. Not the craziest play there.
Not the craziest play that we've ever seen. All right, so Janu Smith,
that's the auto second read. It's you've got someone over the top. If he doesn't have a step, your tight end's doing a little button hook 6 yards out. Throw to him or run it. Very
much within the realm of stuff that could happen. But yeah, I mean, down here, I'm just trying to pluck like a 1 or 2%er. No one's talking about Mike Gesicki. We know that Mike Gesicki could pop off out of nowhere at 1% owned. So like there are real plays here. Evan Ingram, you mentioned 2% owned Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's good in his career. He's a little pricey here, but like this is a player who's good at at football and has absolutely beasted with. He was actually probably until Brian Thomas Jr. got to the Jaguars. I think Evan Ingram was their best pass catcher on the whole damn team. So Laporta unowned. A lot of possibilities here. One more name I'm going to throw out though, but this will be a little more popular. Is Tyler Warren. We already like Daniel Jones a little bit, and Tyler Warren, by all measures, was like do it all stud in training camp. So Warren has the buzz. Unlike Colston, who also went in round 1, BobbyWow, did not get a lot of buzz in the preseason. Yeah, not an exciting guy in best ball.
You guys, the preseason's over, okay? We can go back to forgetting about the preseason because it does not matter.
No, only next week.
It matters when it's happening because it's all we got. But now we can go back to just remembering that it's worthless. We can throw that garbage out.
Next week, we throw everything from the preseason. But this week, we still use that information to guide our thoughts.
I do like Warren, though. I think that's a solid play. He might be the pass catcher 1 immediately. And then
that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe, right? But at bare minimum, he seems like a tight end that they're going to use a lot in different ways, including out of the backfield and screens and not just your standard tight end. So he could be good. It's tough to play a tight end week 1, especially one that's not necessarily priced like dirt cheap or anything like that. But Warren is that, and he has ownership, which is probably not a good thing. 7% own makes kind of ruins it. But still, I think I'm going to be paying up a tight end most of my lineups. Because you can. Why not? It's easy to. All right, guys, we'll close this out. Everybody gets one defense. Your favorite tournament defense. Looks like the Steelers are the highest. I don't believe ownerships right now anyway. I don't buy the Giants are going to be owned. I just think like when you run the optimizer, what ends up happening is the cheapest defense just pops into all of the lineups. I don't really see the Giants popping for 7%, although who knows? I don't really love 49ers here, but you got Broncos, Steelers. It's a pretty good price against the Jets. Everybody gets one defense to pick here.
I don't think the Giants are a bad play, though. I think everyone's kind of talking about how their defense is getting better. Everyone's not saying this, but the Commanders are still ran by a pretty young player. They don't play a lot in the preseason anymore. It wouldn't shock me if the Commanders do come out here looking a little rough, and the Giants can take advantage of that early in the season. So I think the ownership
Terry's been
might be
holding
right
out. He didn't get a ton of reps in.
there. Yeah.
Never know.
Arizona's the best defense play on the board. They're the best one.
No
Burns,
way.
back me up.
Denver is the top defense to
I
me
think it's
by
the
far.
Jags. I think the Jags is the best defense on the board.
What?
First.
You're such a hater of the Pan. At this point,
You know,
you're a
people.
Panthers
Someone
hater.
in the chat said I need to get a Falcons hat because I'm so down on the Panthers. I'm
You're
just
down on the Panthers.
realistic. I'll jump up and down if Tet ends up getting a touchdown, but I don't think it's overly likely. But like I said, the offensive line is banged up. That's all I care about. And Bryce is known to make mistakes, and so I think the Jags are in a great position because of that.
If Bryce smashes this week and the Panthers win that game, you have to wear a Panthers. No, you have to wear a Falcons hat next week on the show.
Wait, what's the scenario?
If the Panthers win this week,
Okay.
you have to wear a Falcons hat on the show.
No, the Panthers can win. The Panthers can find a way to win. I just don't think it's going to be a painful win if that happens. It's going to be a low scoring, like 14-7 kind of game.
All right. How about this? If they win and Bryce Young looks awesome, punishment Falcons cap for one episode.
If Bryce is the GPP Millie winning running back, sure.
Oh
That's the
my
only
goodness!
scenario.
To get Josiah to put on that Falcons hat,
I'm not going to do that for almost anything. I can't do it for low hanging fruit.
It's gonna take a lot to get that hat on you, but I'm prepping one to send your way.
We
Burns,
need to not overcomplicate this, you guys. What are we doing here?
who are we playing?
Denver, who's the number one defense coming into this season
Against the rookie.
at home against a rookie quarterback. And they're not even that much more expensive than anyone else on a slate where we have salary, guys.
You could totally afford it.
I know Burns is going to flip my table over here, but to me, the Broncos are the clear play. If you're looking to, if there is a defense to play, it's the Broncos.
I like it.
Burns?
Nah, I'm not going to flip the table over on that one. That's a good call. I like Denver, but I'll go different. Last year in the Millie Maker, 52.2% rostered home favored defenses. That's a lot. So all these top 20 winning Millie Maker lineups had 52.2% of the home favored.
What was the rest
defenses.
what was the rest of the breakdown?
It was like
Away favored, how much?
away favorites 21.9, home dogs 12.6, away dogs 13.3. So basically,
home and away dogs.
Away
Basically,
dogs, I throw
we
them
don't
away.
avoid the underdog defenses.
Yeah. And to go different than everyone else here, I think the defense that could break the slate is the Los Angeles Rams.
Interesting. And
I
very
think we have seen CJ Stroud have significant problems on the road as a quarterback for the Houston Texans in his 2-year career. Do I think that they score a touchdown? Yes, but they are hurt. They don't really have a solid running back. I also think that they have some problems on their offense, especially when they got rid of Laramie Tunstall. So I think their defense is a stout defense, but I think their offense right now is a little bit in shambles. So I think on the road, on the West Coast, I think it could be a problem. I know CJ Stroud is from the West Coast, so there's going to be that thing there during the course of the game, but I just don't see it. So I think the Rams could be a Millie Maker winner this week.
I love that, Burns, you picked the lowest owned defense on the entire board as of right now.
They probably won't be. No.
Now they're going to go up in ownership, but that Rams lowest owned on the board as of right now. Defensive ownerships are always a little weird. They seem to change pretty quick.
But you remember during week 0, I said there was one special defense.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the Patriots.
This week it's the Patriots.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to be stout underneath the
Interesting.
new helm there. Yeah, I could see this. I
How
could
much?
see this defense being pretty stout this weekend too.
Looking at the price point.
3,100.
All right. So all in the middle.
2 or 3% owned.
Perfect world. Just pay up for the Broncos and take the win against the rookie at home.
Yep.
I'm a big Arizona rattlesnake disbeliever, so I don't mind even on the road, even in not the best spot. But I think you're right, Bobby Wow. Might as well just pay a couple hundred more and take the Broncos, which are an actual good defense. Again, facing a rookie who seems like he's going to be good, but rookies.
I think he will be. It just not
Yeah.
this. It's a tough draw, tough opening draw, and
Yeah.
we need
New
anything
England-
else.
Yeah,
It's
and
the
they are
lowest,
missing.
lowest implied total on the slate at 17 points.
We didn't
It's-
mention it, but New England is definitely missing their top cornerback as well. And that dude, Gonzalez, is awesome. So opens things up for Jacoby Myers more than anything else. But yeah, that'll do it, guys, for this edition of Tournament Tactics. The crew back together again. Super fun to kind of break it down with you guys once again and go on this journey of trying to take down a big tournament on Monday or on Sunday. So good luck to everybody. If you have not already done so and you're in DFSR, of course, we want you to sign up. Kickoff 2025. Still have a couple of days left to get that 20% off. But also, if you want to kind of get your juices flowing with the Domination Station, make sure to check out the basic training tab under NFL on the DFS Army website, where we have all of the back testing from this past season. I didn't get to the last 3 weeks. I kind of cut off at like week 15. I couldn't do the last ones. Got too caught up. Week 1 hit, and that was it. Like, we got to turn on the content. So, but we have most of last season back tested. DFS Army members, subscribers, Players Club tomorrow at noon. Every Saturday at noon, we're going to kick much ass in the Players Clubs where the VIPs go. It's where the VIPs are. We're going to build lineups together, attack we're going to attack the multipliers primarily, that 10x, the 20x, a little bit of that, maybe some high dollar contests. We're going to try to see if we can get some clarity on Christian McCaffrey and figure out what's going on with all that stuff, last minute, everything for VIPs posted in the Discord. So you got to be in the DFS Army Discord if you want to be part of the Players Club, part of everything that we're doing. Make sure you get in there. And guys, we'll see you next time, 5 o'clock.
Pre-launch show Sunday at 11.
Oh yeah, of course. That's right. The pre-lock show live here on DFS Army YouTube channel Sundays at 11 a.m. Tattoo, Josiah, Burns pops in. All the guys pop in there.
Razzle.
And Raz give those last minute takes. Even once in a while, you might get the Geek in there for a couple of minutes because I accidentally clicked something, the wrong thing. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
He does it on purpose.
Yeah, I do that. I do like to pop in, but I'm making lineups. I gotta pop in. I gotta go. All right. Good luck, everyone. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. We'll see everybody next week. Take care and helmets up.